One of the things that's really interesting to think about, what happens when attentional focus is lost? And as you can see from this slide, the next area and the next dimension of the effects of fatigue on cognitive performance are around impaired memory performance. You remember in the last slide we talked about those lapses of attention and that they increase in frequency and duration as somebody becomes increasingly fatigued until they inexorably lead to sleep onset. One of the things that happens during those periods of loss of attentional focus, or what we refer to scientifically as the brain fart, is that the process of transmitting information from short-term to medium and long-term memory is significantly impaired. Again, by analogy, you might like to think about it in the same way as we think about a video recording. If we think about a human eye recording the scene and storing it in memory as the same as a video camera storing it to film or hard drive, as you become increasingly fatigued, pieces of information on the periphery of the screen are lost and the brain tends to focus on just a small part of the screen and miss what's happening around the edges. Similarly, as the duration of those memory lapses increases, then information will be lost to the system. This, as you may remember from the conversation we had with our union delegate back from a couple of slides ago, corresponds to his recollection of driving home but not really being aware of the fact that he'd driven home. Many people, when they're fatigued, will report having driven home and that long periods of the drive, 5 and 10 minutes sometimes, will not be easily accessed as part of the memory. You were on automatic pilot at the time that this was happening. So you will see that there is an impaired transfer of memories from short to long-term memory. The other thing that people find in terms of the effects of fatigue on memory is what we would refer to as impaired procedural memory. Many people have had the experience of being very tired, going to do something and going, why did I come here? What am I doing? Where am I up to in the task? For most people, work tasks require a procedural memory of I have to do A, then B, then C, then D. And often because you have lost attentional focus, you will forget where you're up to in the task, or sometimes even that you were intending to do the task in the first place. The third area where we see the effects of fatigue on memory are a reduced ability to recall stored information. And many people have had that experience of what we call tip of the tongue phenomena, where they're trying to remember something when they're fatigued and they can't remember things that they would normally have no difficulty in remembering when they were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. For many people in common experience, this can be remembering the name of a book or a music video or remembering the actor in a movie. But those same memory impairment functions can impact on people in terms of the tasks that they do at work. They can forget to encode pieces of information and know what's going on in the job. They can forget where they are in the task or what it is that they were doing at a particular time when they're at work. And in many cases, it's quite possible that they can fail to recall vital pieces of information. All of these come together to mean that, as a general rule, performance declines as people become increasingly fatigued. And it's important to understand what are the underlying cognitive reasons for this.